All right, this is session 3 of the trial arc. The session title is Too Hard a Row to Hoe. 2 TWO. So, does anyone need a refresher for last time? I think we all kind of remember the cup and the shenanigans that ensued.
Yep.
Last time, I think we left it where you had planned to go to Jeff's shack on the Ragridge map. His name was mentioned in some paperwork that the group found, as well as the name Hamish. These names were found in some paperwork of the Bloodless group that you were investigating. So, it is the 1st of 7th month still, after your standoff with the cops that was solved by dynamite.
Thank you, JJ.
And a little bit of Deus Ex Machina.
As we're leaving the town too, Box, like, I could have done that. I didn't know that was an option.
Not good. I'm going to go buy some now.
So, if I remember right, the plan was to head to Jeff's shack, see if that had any leads, and then continue with Granny Dusk's plant request that you check on all the other towns. You're going to head up to Crowbury and down to Lakewood.
Oh, and I got a new...
Yeah, you got a new gun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Steven has a new gun. You have a fancy, weirdly magical, melted down, huge and heavy metal goblet. You had recognized that third party that had intervened between you and the warden as Tuck, the guy who was the piano man at the Pearl Poignard. Except he didn't have a mohawk. He had a full head of hair at that point. So, Granny Dusk, I think at some point mentioned that Jeff was a warlock with a demon and that demons are just elementals that have gone rogue. That is something that Malfurion could tell you guys, even if it's not really super common knowledge. So, if you look at the map, you can see that there's kind of a scraggly forest surrounding Jeff's shack for a couple miles. Each of these squares is about 3 miles, so it's pretty sparse, but it's kind of spread out around his little shack there. It's hot. The trees are leafless and withered, like they're almost but not quite dead. So there's not really any shade or any cover. You can see paths through the trees that look kind of like dried out riverbeds, like there was water here at some point in like not ancient memory, but more recent. I think Malfurion would get the vibe that like Jeff, whether he was a druid or warlock or what, he and his elemental were trying to like make a forest here, but it couldn't sustain itself because the area is so dry and kind of barren of water for the most part, except for like the aqueduct system. So it's kind of slowly dying over a very long period of time. It's pretty quiet. You can hear like the trees creaking in the breeze. There's small animal noises occasionally, but like nothing is tramping through the forest, like hunting you or anything like that. There's, with the trees being so withered and clear of foliage, like there's no cover anywhere. And I think Nana's tall enough that he can see over the trees, maybe, depending on how beat up they are. A couple times you startle like crows or ravens and other birds of prey like in the trees, but again, nothing big and threatening attacks you. Did you guys, like, are you on your mounts heading into the forest? Did you like park them at the forest? Did you park them at the edge, or are you all like staying on your mounts?
Probably stay on the mountain.
Yeah, that would be faster.
Yeah.
I'm on Nana, so...
Right.
Which is on the board.
Which is on the board, so...
Okay, then yes.
He's mounted the mount to the mount.
So, after a couple hours of traveling, Bach at the highest point of the group, you can see kind of a clearing open up, like a small rise of like hard earth, and then a clearing in the withered trees. It's a shack. It's kind of haphazard. It's made of piled rocks, fallen trees. The roof looks like it's like dirt and shrubs. And you can kind of see like vines growing all over it, kind of like mortaring all the rubbish together. You can also see a huge still and piles of potatoes, corn, several crates of sugar, and that kind of thing. As you guys get closer, you don't see anyone going around this. There's no threatening like animals around. Just a really, really extensive moonshiner operation next to this derelict little cabin. As you draw closer, you see next to the still is kind of like a cobbled together, like almost like a wine rack, but it's got these huge brown glass jugs. Some are corked, others are uncorked. The still is not currently in operation, and it's pulled apart like someone's cleaning it. You can see like rags and soap and pails of water and stuff near it. It looks way more like a moonshine or rum runner operation than like a magical hermit's place of power.
Are we pretty confident this is Jeff's based on like
Based
whereabouts
on
on the map?
location, like, and yeah, you're pretty confident this is Jeff's place. Malfurion, would you like to see if Sparky knows anything about this warlock Jeff and his demon?
Yeah.
Just roll presence plus druidic magic to see if you can get any info for you.
I sent something to your Discord. It's not important at the moment, but it's an interesting resource.
I don't think it's going on much.
I'll check it out.
What'd you get?
I just got things thinking while they were talking about it. Let's
Two.
see what I can
2?
find.
Alright. Sparky tells you that there's definitely druidic elemental magic in the region trying to sustain this forest.
Makes sense, because isn't like most is just shrubland
Yeah,
around
it's
this
like
area?
borderline desert, shrubland. So, is there anything you guys want to do? Keep approaching? Call
Yeah,
out? Anything?
How?
Yep.
Yeah, let's just keep approaching.
Okay.
What were we originally? Why were we going to see Jeff? I remember we were going to see Jeff.
You found his name in the paperwork, some of the like the partially burned up paperwork of the Bloodless. You don't know like what the context is of.
Okay.
You don't even know if the Jeff mentioned in that paperwork is the
this
Jeff.
Jeff?
This Jeff.
Okay.
But if I remember right, you thought that it was the closest thing you had to a lead.
Yep.
So
Okay, I remember now.
Oh yeah, in the shrine, or you want to call
Yep.
it the chapel. or whatever.
so
Box says so. We go see if Jeff's home.
How far away are we?
I don't know, a couple 100 yards.
Oh,
at this
so
point.
yeah. I wouldn't say hey, or anything yet until we get. I don't know if we want to like.
Box, you gonna kind of check for traps, maybe?
Okay. Roll reason plus investigation or perception investigation. Yeah. Reason, perception, investigation. Anyone else want to do observation or investigation or anything like
Sure.
Let's see here. I'm the most observant person here.
I see shit. That'd be a crit fail
that? Okay.
with 0 success.
0 success.
Hard, and I'm just getting used to the. Trying to
I
find
could
where
roll a
everything is.
nature check. I only hit on 5 and 6s, but I got 2 dice. Hey, look.
Let's see. Where is that going to be on the sheet here?
Reason is an attribute. You have a 1. It'll be on the left. The perception
Yep.
perception observation will be over to the right.
Okay.
So you'll have a 1 plus your 2 in perception plus your 2 in observation.
Yeah,
So
it would be 6
4,
roll,
5.
6 dice.
5 dice.
Okay.
More than me.
Way more than me.
That is a fumble.
Yes, it is.
I got a
You want to use the dice tray here too?
4
Oh, maybe.
4? Okay.
Thank
I
you.
wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Let's
appreciate
see.
it.
for
what-
the reason, perception, and observation.
Okay. All right. You see signs that this is someone lives here. Like there's not anyone moving around. There's not any animals around, but someone lives here. This is all very freshly set up. There are trails in the dirt like that are fresh.
Okay.
You can see that there is probably one human man that lives here.
I guess if we're close enough, I'll
Yell out.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys get a little
Not
clout.
like an anger or anything, like oh, type like.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Try not to surprise
If you'll
him.
bring up Jeff.
This is Jeff. Ooh. He looks angry.
So Steven starts to yell out like hello, hello, like nothing threatening, but a wild-eyed bearded man with a staff and a yellow shirt comes running out of the shack. He starts screaming, "You lot'll never take me alive, you fucking pigs!" And he starts snorting and coughing and spitting in every direction, but as his saliva hits the air, it turns into like bursts of like blue fire. Clearly magical, clearly druidic type magic.
Bot kind of just looks at Nana, looks at everybody else.
No, we're riding the pigs. We're not here.
Is that what you say? He's like in middle of like snorting up a loogie and like speaking the language of the elementals. And what? What do you fuckers want? Who are you? Are you wardens? This is my land and you'll never take it from me. I'll fucking die here before you get the oil.
You can have your oil.
Okay.
We're just looking for some answers. We're just a group of adventurers trying to figure out what's going on here.
Oh.
Well, not here. In Carthang.
Oh. Alright. You're not wardens?
Definitely not.
Okay. Alright.
Why is oil special?
We don't really get along with wardens.
Alright, that's a point in your favor. Everyone a jug for everyone. Do you ask him what oil is?
Yeah.
How would you phrase this?
Because now I'd have no concept.
I think you would say something like, a long time ago there were monsters, dragons roaming the earth, and now their blood sits in the ground, and assholes want to dig it all up to light it on fire to power stuff in cities.
Just blank face.
Okay. There's a big old well of it under here, and ain't nobody hacking up the ground to get at it. Like he puts like flips up pails and stuff for you guys all to sit on, and hands out a jug of moonshine for everyone.
Bach poofs to the pail. Starts stirring on some. How is it?
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah, now just like. Yes, after he crushes the bucket.
I think Nana is the only one that doesn't go blind.
Oh.
I don't know. I got poison resistance.
You're right. Steven would be okay too.
Tasty.
Holy shit!
This stuff could be used as fuel.
Sure.
Is it temporary blindness?
He's all right. You're not wardens. You don't like wardens. What's going on? You said something's going on. You wanted to know about something's going on. What?
Does the name the Bloodless mean anything to you?
Yeah, I fucking know the Bloodless are fucking back. Motherfucking Chirazov.
Back?
He wanders over to it, like...
No, I'm Bach.
He wanders over to his big wine rack, his big jug rack, and he kind of digs under a plank of the rack, and he pulls out a secret stash of, like, moonshine, and he just takes the longest pull you've ever seen of this jet fuel.
Bach's eyes go wide, like, okay.
Does he belch fire?
That's what I was building to.
Thank you.
He holds his fist over his sternum, and this gout of flame just, and like it reaches like a certain distance from him, and it converts to like lightning and hisses and cracks into the sky.
Sweet.
Wipes the fucking his mouth. Yeah, Chirazov, the fucking Bloodless. He loves gold and he loves blood, except not really. He needs the blood and gold, but he doesn't understand why. He's this big, blind, magical mosquito that barely understands what he's doing and why he's doing it. But he's willing to murder every living thing on Carthang to do it, because all he knows is that he needs to do it. He's fucking been here before. I've fought him before. Vatash has fought him before. Sparky, I think, would tell you that Vatash is Jeff's demon. So he's back. What are the Bloodless doing now?
They took over Ragridge, destroyed that town.
Crooked Ridge.
Cricket, yeah.
Oh, well, shit then.
Yeah, well, and what town did they annihilate? They killed everybody.
They annihilated Crooked Ridge. They were briefly working out of Crooked Tusk.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They tried to mind control everybody in Crooked Tusk. We found some papers with your name on them in Crooked Tusk in one of their hideouts.
Interesting.
I show them.
That's little fragments of bird paper.
Right, but
Yeah, that's my name, Jeff.
you think you think you're the Jeff in these papers?
Probably.
Okay.
I've let me see where the bullet is. He says, I've destroyed 3 of his fucking anchors, and Vatosh and previous Jeffs have destroyed 40 of them.
Previous Jeffs?
Previous Jeffs.
Care to elaborate on that?
Well, Vatosh has been fighting Chirzov. Vatosh is my demon. He's been fighting Chirzov for about 1,000 years. And so elementals
Name their pets.
that, but he's gonna say it differently. So
So how many are you?
No, Fury, I was like, no! I'm a clone! My life is a lie.
oh god, I'm sorry, I had something written and I liked it, and now I can't find it. Okay, here's what he says. So druids are like spyglasses for the elementals. They can't see the world the way we can. They're spiritual beings, the elementals are, so they need to sit in your head so they can perceive in real time what's going on in the real world. And they can work through us. And every so often, Jeffs die, and Vatosh finds another Jeff to work with him. Except last time he fought Chirzov, he got kicked out from the elementals. Normally, elementals and warlocks leave of their own volition because they're tired of the fucking bullshit. Vatosh was kicked out, which doesn't ever fucking happen.
And that's why.
Is it always some guy named Jeff?
It's like a title. Like,
Oh, gotcha. All right.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, do your name have to be
Yeah,
Jeff?
fa-fa.
You have an extra F.
the first Jeff was named something like, and he spouts off some like proto language of the area with like 18 consonants and 3 vowels in it. That was his actual name, but Vatosh couldn't say it because it was weird and called him Jeff. And we've been Jeffs down the line ever since.
All right. Thank you.
Well, all right, Jeff. So, Chirzov's not new. Like, almost nobody we've talked to has any concept of what we're trying to figure out here. We've heard the name Chirzov and that he's leading the Bloodless, but other than that, we haven't really got anything solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Can we just like take care of Chirzov for good?
Well, so does the decanter mean anything to you? The decanter? Have you heard that term in your dealings with Chirzov? You have. Someone mentioned like the depthless decanter of Old Night or something like that to you guys, like last time. I think it was the kid with the loom, and he said that Amtus was talking about it in like one of his sermons or whatever in that little hidey hole in the sewers.
Okay.
I think so.
Do you think that was the chalice?
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say.
is that this? Pull out the flattened.
No, that wasn't the decanter. That's just an anchor.
Okay, that's a new word for us. Anchor.
So Chirzov isn't from this world. He's from outside or under or within or something. There's our world, our real world, and then there's that layer of magical energy that maybe wizards and shadow masters and sorcerers and shit and druids and warlocks we all know about. That's where all our magic comes from, through different means, the elementals or demons or the shadow realm. And then next to that is the Shadowlands. That's where all our souls go when they die. Chirzov ain't from any of those places. He's from somewhere else. He's something else. You've seen his fucked up magic, maybe.
Yep.
His weird stuff.
Yep.
It's not from this world. He's a big dumb fucking mosquito that feels like he needs to get in here. He doesn't know why or how. He needs these anchors that have part of his essence into him. You destroyed that one. Did you feel the backlash?
Yeah, a couple times.
That's because you're
The whole
injuring.
town did.
That's because you're injuring Chirzov, and he's crying about it like a little baby. And he's so alien that it's fucking your brains over because they don't know how to process it. The problem is that every time you destroy one of those anchors, more of his power splits off to the other anchors, so they're harder to fucking resist the mental fuckery that goes on with them.
Nice.
So we just took care of one of the strongest ones. You took care of the easy ones.
He laughs.
I'll assume that.
Bach awkwardly smiles.
Takes a swig.
Yeah.
Just start laughing because I want to feel part of it.
He says, so he's got these anchors, and the depthless fucking decanter of Old Night is an anchor of a sort, but it's different. It's part of him like your hand is part of you. These anchors are like rings you wear on your hand, but the depthless decanter is part of him. It's his essence. The problem is that Vatosh will burn a fucking continent to ash to take out a couple of the anchors, but then you're left with the decanter of Depthless Night, and no one can fucking approach it because it's like Chirzov himself is banging around in your skull, fucking with your mind, making you want gold and wants you to show all your friends his cool cup and stuff.
Know
Yeah,
that feeling.
that
He
checks
said-
out.
And do you guys ask him about would you guys ask him about Vatosh fighting Chirzov previously and how that's gone?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the history
yeah,
of it.
okay.
It's been, yeah.
Got my notes all backwards here. So, I think he would tell you. So, about 1,000. You guys know the Stone Forest.
That's where the hippies live.
Do we know the Stone Forest?
Yes. Pull up the map.
That's where the hippies live.
You guys have heard of the Stone Forest.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Stone Forest.
So-
Wasn't that the second place we were gonna go?
Crowberry was.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the Stone Forest in this area. Folks think it's a bunch of let me see. What do people think it is? Lost my notes. This is what you get for not reviewing your session.
Oh, where the hippies live?
It is not where the hippies live.
Ruins.
No, that was the ruined castle.
So. Oh dear.
I remember. I thought you talked about it. I don't remember.
All right. You know that people say the Stone Forest is a petrified forest. It ain't. 1,000 years ago, it was a city. It was human, goblin, Kalash, maybe Gaspoda, whatever. Chirzov's cult sprang up and spread through the city like wildfire. Vatosh and Jeff the First slagged the whole damn area, melted a chunk of the mountains, forever altered the climate and geography of Harthank, saved the whole region from the cult. Jeff the First and Vatosh they destroyed all the anchors, and it was just the depthless decanter that was left. And that's kind of all you can do once you have the decanter in your hands, or you know where it is. You try to hide it so no one else fucking finds it. And that's what's been happening every couple decades or every couple centuries since then. The decanter crops up, and some asshole gets his mind fucked and starts to spread it to his friends, and that's what's happening now.
How do new anchors get created?
It's like a religion or a cult. The worshippers focus on something. Usually a big fucking cup, and he points to your slagged, smushed up one. Usually a big fucking cup, because Chirzov has no fucking imagination, and they pray to it and call out to him using it as the focus, and his energy.
It becomes an anchor. Okay.
He kind of squirms his little pinky dick into here and sits it in that decanter.
So it doesn't have to be a cup.
Doesn't have to be cup.
It's whatever they want to
Okay.
worship.
It's whatever they want to worship. But again, they're too fucking dumb to. They have no one. You've met the Bloodless, right?
Yep.
You've seen.
Yep.
Did any of you fall under the effects of this anchor?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No. He kind of chuckles. You felt what it's like. It wipes out your feelings, your thoughts, pain. It wipes all of that out and leaves you kind of like a blank. That's the way Chirzov is. He thinks he needs gold and blood. He doesn't know why. He doesn't care why. It's just the only strong emotion he feels. He needs to come into this realm, and he uses blood and gold to do it. So usually these anchors are cups, big cups, for him to hold. like that kind of size. He's more probably your giant size, a human or a goblin. And they're always made out of gold, but it's drained of color and other stuff, so it looks like dull metal. And they worship it and worship it and worship it. Like, in all his years, Vatosh has never seen him do anything smart like a tiny little thimble as his focus. It's always these giant ass cups.
Guess what we're going to start looking for?
So, okay.
Is there? Can we like, if we think it's an anchor, can we like cover it, or is it always still going to take over your?
It's him spreading out from the, like, you can cover it, you can do whatever you want to it, but it's him spreading out from it. Nothing will stop that, except maybe a couple powerful bits of high magic.
So what? This is just a never-ending cycle that can.
Yes.
So, like, have we been here before to talk to you about this?
No, you're not part of the never-ending cycle. Chirazov trying to get in here is a never-ending cycle.
Alright.
You're not Jeff the First.
I know.
Okay.
I'm Bach the First, son of Maz, son of Rand.
Oh, whatever, you goblins and your fucking names.
Probably not.
We
the
just
first.
give each other a look.
Yeah, exactly. You people.
I didn't mean it like that.
So, yeah, Jeff, we came here all jazzed up. Now I'm kind of feeling kind of down on this whole thing.
Why?
Like, I don't know. What are we doing here? Like,
Just destroy the anchors. That's all you gotta do. You destroyed one, didn't you?
Barely.
Well, get
Well, at least
better.
we know not to get close to it. Kill it from afar.
why did you quit destroying anchors?
Because Vatosh and I have done fucking enough. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna pretend our little forest is gonna grow. We fought Chirazov. He's fought Chirazov for 1,000 years. I fought him a couple times. We've done our share. And for all our service, we get to sit here in the middle of a fucking desert making moonshine. And we don't get to be a druid anymore. So fuck the rest of the continent. Y'all can figure it out.
Okay, that's pretty fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
You're fucking right, you can't.
So if we ever need any more pointers, can we come and stop and talk to you at any time?
Yeah, sure. Advice don't cost me nothing.
You've been pretty forthright with all this information. Like, is there anything? I suppose you're sending us on our way. Is there anything we can do for you?
Can you make it rain?
I think Sparky would know that, like, Sparky does not have the power to make it range, and Vatosh make it rain, and Vatosh, like, way outclasses Sparky in terms of elemental demonic power.
You're in the first.
Don't worry, we're gonna level him up just as much.
You could be the new Jeff.
Oh, I'm wondering how many Malfurions there have been now.
You're looking behind your ears.
Late at night. Sparky, I have a question.
How many others have you been with?
What's your number? You can be honest. I won't be offended. I won't get. It won't affect my ego. Just, what's your
I
number?
won't get upset.
Just add 3,000 to it.
No, you don't even understand the number. It's just a concept.
His elemental keeps adding fingers to his hand.
You just get a circle.
Yeah, there you go.
Trying to think what he would have. I don't.
I think he draws the number 8.
I don't.
Affinity sign.
I don't need fucking nothing. I just want to retire. We're enjoying our retirement here. If I think of something, I'll find you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Just fucking beat the shit out of the Bloodless this time round, so I don't have to.
All right.
We'll try our best.
Squish bug.
I think we're gonna head to Crowberry next. Is there Any advice you have for us there? Maybe we should
Nah,
look
but there's
for it?
another anchor in Lakewood.
Oh, okay. Well, so
Wait,
Where's Lakewood?
I was just thinking that.
it's
Did you tell us the route out?
I did.
Lakewood's town.
Oh, that was
There's not another anchor in Lakewood. that was a mistake. It moved. It's not there anymore.
Now they teleport.
Great.
It would have been there if you guys hadn't passed out for about 12 or 15 hours. It's been moved since then.
Okay.
Probably to Crowberry, because we're going that way.
What's the best way to track the anchors? I guess I should.
Look for assholes that are obsessed with blood and gold.
Well, that can be
Great.
Uber.
That's all.
That's us.
It's gonna say.
Every adventuring party out there.
I mean, you guys are familiar enough with the weird magic at this point that you can
They look for the
you
dust.
can reasonably track, like, you know, to look for the dust, you know, to look for the magical energy for the spellcasters in the group. Like, you figured out how to detect that reliably.
Okay. How many anchors are there typically?
It just depends on how long the cult's been going on. Last time I fought them, there were 4. When Vitosh first slagged that chunk of the continent, it was a whole city full of relics.
Oh shit.
A whole city started worshipping every fucking cup they could find, and
All right. Well, hopefully we're not to that point yet.
no, things would be much worse if you were.
That's good to know.
Well, if they wiped out a whole town, would because they wiped out that whole town, they would have took anything that they thought was.
Yeah, any gold they could melt down or hammer into the shape of a giant cup.
And we didn't see anything of that when we went to that cave. Or that trench, or whatever you want to call it.
Sewer, or whatever.
No,
yeah, the canyon.
the double bridge.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jeff. I mean, thank you. You answered a lot of our
there's-
questions.
Vitosh knows there was an organization that was hunting and keeping a lookout for things like Chirzov and other things. This will be comforting. He's not alone. There are other things like Chirzov. And I don't know their name. He vomits a string of like proto-language syllables. That used to be their name 1,000 years ago. What it is nowadays, I don't know. But there is some sort of secret society that exists to keep track of these fuckers. So there's probably people in the area that are keeping an eye on this shit that probably know a little bit more than you guys. That maybe if you can make contact with them, maybe you can get some more resources other than a tired old moonshiner.
Moonshine's good.
Truth.
Yeah, I know I'm a goblin, but I'm really starting to feel small in this world.
It's a lot bigger than you think.
Now I'm just gonna look at you. You are small.
Thanks, Nana.
You're welcome.
So how much is the radiant come from the cup? I mean, like how far? It's safe distance.
You guys, the cup you had to get within like 2 or 3 feet of it before it affected you. And I think if you asked that question, Jeff would say something like, the more powerful the anchor, the wider its influence. So however many there are right now, they were probably comparable to the one you guys destroyed. Now they're harder to resist. Now the ones that are left are harder to resist, and they extend their influence further.
So also easier to find.
What's that?
So also easier to find, though.
Yes.
Double-edged sword.
What? This isn't a question necessarily aimed at Jeff. Like, would we know like what the biggest city in the region is?
The
Town,
biggest city. These are all kind of smaller towns.
That's what I figured.
Crowberry population-wise is probably the biggest, simply because it used to be where everyone worked from, like, dealt with the wheelbarrow mine. Actually, I think there's not a lot going on there now. I think Crowberry would be the largest in terms of, like,
Size.
Mhm.
population, probably comparable to like Ragridge.
Okay.
I think the most populous right now would be Crooked Tusk because Smudge Hill is active.
Okay.
So there's a lot of miners, a lot of industry going on there, a lot of shipping, that kind of stuff.
Just trying to think of like if we're gonna run into like another like a member of this organization, like our best chances.
If Crooked Tusk were under the sway of Chirzov, I think you guys would have noticed when you were there.
Okay.
Unless it's all taking place in the mine, which is a place you didn't go when you were there.
So it's taking place in the mine.
I don't know. Right now, it's in my mind. So.
Little Timmy's dad and all of them really were mad at us for like no fucking reason. I remember his name.
I don't either. Who cares? He didn't even have a picture.
Oh, okay, that's why I don't remember.
I think.
I thought about going to the mine, but I was afraid to because of the sheriff and everybody.
I mean, we're already halfway to Crowberry now.
Yeah.
Can we take a break? I gotta use the
I do.
restroom.
Too. Yeah, let's take a break. You guys ready?
We're good.
All right.
We're good.
We're good. All right. So, any last little bits of stuff? Anything you want to ask Jeff? I think you guys are pretty milked him pretty dry of info.
And then we asked him questions.
And then he asked him questions.
Do you have more moonshine?
Yes. He hands you a jug for the road.
Okay.
Well, thanks,
So-
Jeff.
We might be back.
I'm assuming you guys just want to head
I'm putting that
west
on my
towards
character
Crowberry
sheet.
rather than go to the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm putting that moonshine on my sheet.
Do it. So you guys leave Jeff's shack, heading east and north towards the town of Crowberry. You recall Granny Dust telling you that there was a mining camp right outside of Wheelbarrow Mine, but the mine closed about 50 years ago. Crowberry isn't actually outside the mine. It's at the small lake by the Goblin Aqueduct that brings water into the region. Sorry, wife texted me.
Come on,
It
man,
takes
get
about
your
like
priorities
6-7
straight.
hours to get there. You're going cross country, and the boar, I cannot stress this enough, is not very fast.
It moves about as fast as a pig moves.
So it is about 9 p.m., well into dark by the time you get into Crowberry. It looks pretty normal. Like, the streets are lit with like lanterns and stuff. They don't have electricity here quite yet, but they do have lanterns out to like illuminate things. The town is very clean. All the buildings appear to be made out of dark stone, probably quarried from the very close by mountains. Part probably like when Wheelbarrow opened, excess stone, if it was good quality, was shipped to Crowberry to build buildings, that kind of thing. Much like Crooked Tusk, there's a warden's office and a post office. Between those two stone buildings is a telegraph office. The telegraph office just says telegraph office. You also see there's a smaller sign for Shadowjack Acquisitions. You order it, we ship it. Something to that effect, like a service that will deliver goods to you via telegraph order.
Same day shipping.
Most of the buildings you see as you enter the town are residential in nature, or like common businesses like a stable, a smithy, a tavern, an inn, that kind of thing. At a glance, you're fully in the town now. The main thing keeping Crowberry from being a ghost town seems to be the lake. Like, you can see restaurants and bars and like fresh seafood signs and stuff. You also see a lot of signage for like how much fishing can be done on the lake. And there are like seasonal calendars all over the place denoting like fishing season begins and ends, like what day, what conservation rules are, and that kind of stuff. It's a fishing village with a strong focus on like conservation and like making sure they don't over farm the lake that they have, because it's just a lake, it's not an ocean. So that's kind of Crowberry. There are still people out and about. Like the beachfront area has a bunch of restaurants and bars and stuff that are still open and lit up, so there are people coming and going. It's not quite like a tourist spot, but like this is the equivalent of like going to Seattle to get like fresh fish, or like Maine to get fresh lobster and stuff. Like, that's kind of their vibe.
Never been there, so I couldn't tell you. I wonder if we should check into the Warren's office.
Well, would they be closed? If it's 9 p.m.
Oh yeah.
No, Warren's office is open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like a police
Oh,
station
yeah,
that's
okay.
open all night.
All right, that's fair.
Maybe
Because crime never sleeps.
Crime never sleeps.
or text Nana or whatever her name is.
Granny Dusk?
Yeah, Granny.
Did you say to text her?
Well, you know.
Yeah, shadow text, right?
Yeah, shadow text. The thing that's real.
We call it
Telegraph,
sexting.
telegraph, telephone, and telewoman. I mean, Fox.
If you were to approach the Warden's office, you would see that there's a sign on the door that says Warden John Kane, and another sign below that that's like the closed open sign. It says open, come on in, stay a while. You guys want to poke your head into that?
I don't know. I'm kind of debating.
Seems a lot friendlier than the last warden.
You've actually the people would recognize you as strangers, and like if you were to like pass by a restaurant or like a vendor's stall or something, like, welcome to Crowbury and that kind of stuff. Like you've received like a civil welcome to this town.
Okay.
I would say.
Well, I mean, we don't know what kind of rules they got going on here, or we can ask if there was like any weird stuff going on.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe the warden is the best place to start. I'm okay with it if you guys
Yep,
are.
works
Okay.
for me.
I don't know what that is, but
If you could bring up John Decker Kane.
Good. I can.
So you enter the warden's office. It's pretty straightforward. It's one floor. It's one room.
I love this man.
oh, whoa, KFC man,
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders.
There's an older gentleman in a white hat and a white leather duster seated at a desk. He's got a vest and a tie on. Tie is pretty loose. It's getting late in the day. He is an older gentleman. He's still hanging out in the office just in case but a deputy is likely to relieve him soon. Think Colonel Sanders if he was a lawman. You catch him in the middle of dabbing a handkerchief at his sweaty neck, and he clocks you guys as you come in. Well, I do say there, hello, strangers. I'm Warden John Kane. What can I do for you? I'm about to clock out for the night, but I got a couple minutes to sit a spell.
We really need a name.
Like for our group?
Yeah. Warden Kane, you said?
Yeah. And as you're approaching further into the room, you notice he doesn't have his hands on it or anything, but there is a long lever action rifle on the table on his desk.
Hello, Warden Kane. My name's Bot. These are my friends. We're an adventuring party from Redridge.
Oh, Redridge.
Yeah.
If you happen to get back there, tell Granny Dusk I say hello.
Will do. Absolutely. She's actually who kind of sent us on this little journey.
Oh, well, let's sit a spell and shoot fat.
Yeah, of course. So I guess I'll start off. Get right into the nitty gritty. Have you guys noticed anything strange around here? Any odd activity from any of your citizens or?
I mean, we do have a lively nightlife here on the lake. Can you be more specific?
Sure. Does the name The Bloodless ring any bells to you? We have suspicion.
Do you describe them a little bit more
Yeah.
thoroughly, like kind of like
We've been
use words
investigating
like
a cult.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the bleed
Well-
purple.
Now that you're talking like that, last month about the 15th or 16th, we did have some odder than usual men and women come into town. It was a small group, say six people. I don't much recall them doing any preaching or recruiting or anything. And I only recall it because there's not much more than fresh fish and the Telegraph to draw people over here to Crowbury, and they did not partake of either. They spent the night over at Harriet's bed and breakfast and went on their way come morning. I did not care for their demeanor or blank stares or their neck and face tattoos. I fully expected trouble in the night, so I stayed up a little later than usual, and I parked myself outside Harriet's on a bench with Bessie here. And he pats the lever action rifle. I expected trouble, but there was no need. They didn't cause any ruckus at Harriet's, and afterwards I talked to her, And she said that though they were less than gregarious, they were quiet and perfectly fine house guests all through the night.
Does sound like their type, but
Can we describe the people? Well, describe the people that we seen and kind of took care of. Did they fit the?
This was they don't sound familiar, but this was last month, and they do not sound familiar from your descriptions.
yeah, it just sounds like another group of bandits that Chirzov got a hold of. Because I mean, that's kind of been like it's just like various like brigands and roughnecks, right? That like kind of get scooped up into this whole
That's the vibe you're getting from
cult
their
mentality.
their-
Yeah, they're easy prey, I guess, for
Yeah.
that type of, you know.
They already have an inborn like an innate need for like we want gold, we need cash, we need money.
And we're willing to take blood to get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Chirzov kind of uses that as his in.
Okay.
Are you looking to find where these gentlemen went? These folks went?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, that'd
You
be a
might-
step in the right direction.
You might ask Harriet. I don't know that she'll be able to tell you anything more than I have, but she was the last to speak to them on their way out of town, as they were staying with her at her bed and breakfast.
All right. Yeah, we can go have a chat with Harriet. And just so you know, and Bachline kind of explains like the cult's methodology.
Oh,
You know how they'll typically worship like a goblet, and if you look into it, like it'll kind of like consume you into the cult too. And he's like,
that's
powerful stuff.
that is concerning. I'm gonna need to call in some extras, do some extra patrols and that sort of thing. We have a lively bar culture here at night, and vessels for liquids are kind of hand in hand with that. I'll keep. This is upsetting. Did you tell them about Crooked Ridge and it being exterminated? Is
Yeah.
that something?
Yeah.
This is very upsetting information, gentlemen.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we'd rather you be able to prepare than
Yeah.
be caught blindsided.
I'm gonna have to send a few telegraphs tonight.
Well, we'll go touch base with Harry, and hopefully those strangers just move down their way. And
And get a place to stay.
Do you mention like Tuck, John Upburn, anything like about like what went down with that?
Would he know who we were talking about?
The only way to know would be to ask him about
Fair.
anything.
you know,
I don't know if we really want to tell him we took out
Uncle
the
said, you
wall.
know, you're a lot friendlier than the warden we ran into at Crooked Tusk.
Oh, Upburn, fuck that bag of shit.
Feel better.
He gives a bad name to good wardens. I tell
Okay,
you
we
what.
kind of felt that
I've,
too.
I've lodged a fair few complaints about him and his ugly fucking father over the years.
Oh, so it runs in the family.
Oh, it runs in the family for sure.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're in better company here in Crowbury.
Would you notice the gun that I'm on my side?
You
I don't think-
technically didn't kill him.
Just yank.
Borrowed it without permission permanently.
Yeah, he didn't say no.
He tried to shoot me. I disarmed him.
With dynamite.
We did not throw that dynamite on him. You remember that?
Speaking of dynamite, I'm guessing you don't tell about that final
No, no, no,
conversation.
no,
Do you ask
definitely
about? Do you mention Tuck at all, or describe him as someone to look for, or anything like that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. Well,
You described Tuck with his fucking mohawk and everything. You know, I do recall that gentleman. He came into town this afternoon, spent an hour sending and receiving telegraphs, and then headed out the way he came. Stopped at a market stall to buy quite a bit of fish jerky, which I only know because I too was having a hankering.
So you'd recommend we could use some supplies for the road?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fresh fish, freshest you've ever had. There's,
Is that the best way to describe fish jerky?
I don't know.
Fresh fish.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even like fish that much. I only eat catfish.
He likes to feel the
smoked
whiskers.
fish is good though. Like,
I never really cared for that.
Depends on the fish. All right, well, thank you, Warden Kane. I mean,
Happy
seriously
to help.
appreciate
Happy to
it.
be of service. Appreciate the heads up.
Hopefully, we don't cause any trouble for you.
Why would you say that, Steve? Go get you some rest, Warden Kane. We're gonna go see Harriet.
All right, you guys go over to Harriet's B&B.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Harriet's B&B.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have a girl's name, or it doesn't have an animal name in it.
Is there any other place?
All right.
That's
Harriet
Harriet.
Baker. And she's got a rolling pin. Because she's a baker.
Yeah, that's why she's got a rolling pin.
You mosey over to Harriet's B&B, and it's pretty late at night, but there's still light on.
Oh, there's a...
It's a cozy cottage-type place set back from the main road. 2-story wooden building with white siding and green shutters. There's flower pots and fucking planters everywhere around this place. It looks like everybody's gardening grandma like threw up on it. There's a manual water pump in the front yard along a cobble path leading up to the porch. There's a wooden sign that says Harriet's B&B and gilt lettering on it in Orcant, which is the common language of the area. You can smell... Well, no, you can't. It's the middle of the night. You've barely set foot on the property when a little old lady steps out the front door. She holds up a lantern, looks out at you. Hello there, friends. Welcome to Harriet's B&B. You looking for to spend the night? Seem like you've been on the road for a while.
Are there any carnivorous plants?
I need a spot where I can drop off my hog.
Oh, goodness. That's a large boar and a large giant. Oh, my. No plants appear carnivorous. She waves at you.
A place to stay would be great.
Of course. Come on in.
Sorry about our tardiness.
I don't know that it'll do much good, but you can leave the horses in the pet and in the fence, and I'll latch the gate behind you, and we'll see what happens overnight.
Yeah, good enough for me.
Sends bacon in more.
No, I was just gonna look at the boar, pat him on the head. You stay here.
Snorts and tries to gore your face off.
Good boy.
So wait, can you even get in the building? Like,
He has to hunch.
Oh, okay.
He's 10 feet tall, so it's uncomfortable. Like if it's human size.
oh, okay. So he's not like 20 feet tall.
He's not 20 feet tall. No,
Not that kind of giant.
not that kind of giant. Maybe in 100 years he'll be that tall, but
Good guys just keep growing.
pretty much
That's why
what
he's
they
dumb.
do.
He's only 6.
It's a nice cozy little grandma's living room that you guys enter into. There's a big kitchen on one side. There's stairways leading up to the second floor. There's a sitting room. It's the whole 9 yards. Everything has doilies and like throw pillows and like area rugs and stuff. It's all in very warm, neutral colors. Nothing offensive in the slightest.
I think
Nothing.
something's wrong with this lady.
Well, there's a deep, deep, dark evil hiding here.
Second. What is she trying to hide?
Harriet is actually Chirzov.
Yeah, that's what I was like. The whole
Replace
town.
the H with a C.
Conspiracy
Are
theory.
are you boys looking to spend a couple nights, or do you have places to be in the morning? Are you looking to take into fishing? I know a few very good spots.
Probably just for the night.
Oh, of course.
We're actually, and this can wait till morning. That's fine. We're looking to speak with Miss Harriet.
That's me.
Hi. I'm Bach.
Hello,
He's-
Bach.
You know, he introduces everybody. We're all the way from Ragridge.
Oh, Ragridge.
Yeah, Granny Dusk sent us.
Oh, I've heard of Granny Dusk.
Yeah, that's great.
A fellow residential owner.
That's right. And you know, you seem just as nice in every bit as she does.
Oh, that's so nice to her. I've heard such good things about it.
This is a very nice place.
Thank you.
Bach kind of looks to everybody and he kind of like comes over to you guys. He's like, you know, it's kind of late. Should we bring this stuff up tonight? Stay the night or?
Stay the night, do it in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm old, not deaf, boys. What did you?
You know, like I said, we've got some questions for.
No, it's
for
fine.
You.
I'm up at all hours. I sleep like 3 hours a night. There's so much bacon to do.
Alright.
Is
Did you say
that
bacon?
smell?
There's no smell. None of the ovens are on.
I don't know.
Why
If
they
you
had
bake
a lot of
there might
bacon
be
to
a
do.
lingering smell.
Well, yes, your sense of smell is you would probably smell a residual, like warm, bakey
There was
scents.
something baking
She said bacon, so
4 hours ago.
Would you like to throw me to throw a pie in for you boys?
Pie.
Say no more. Say no more. She goes to a big like walk-in cabinet and like pulls out a bunch of like put together pies for the morning and like shoves them in the oven.
Here's some hairy pie.
Thank you,
for
Miss Baker.
Here's some hairy pie for you. Harriet's hairy pie.
Harriet's pies.
Well,
Harriet the spies.
I suppose while that's baking, yeah, we can. The warden actually sent us your way.
Oh,
Um,
Warren Kane? Why?
Said about a month ago there was about a group of 6 kind of roughnecks that came
Oh,
through.
yes, those strangers. We did have them here last month. There were 6 of them, 4 men and 2 women. The men took some prodding, but they eventually signed the guest book as John, Jane, and Jane. No surname. And they paid with paper marks, which is unusual, but
It's a lot of Johns.
it happens. They paid with paper marks, which isn't too common out here. But I had Warden Kane and Postmaster Cobb check them all to ensure they were legal tender, and they both confirmed it. And sent a telegraph to Harold Barker over in Ragridge, and he confirmed their testing as well. They were real paper marks of Cusseth.
Okay.
So would that indicate that they're like wealthy then? Or?
What do people usually pay with?
Coins. I mean, paper currency, paper marks are more typically used in like Osfell and like Cusseth and like the big cities. Like most people are still a little leery of paper money out,
Yeah,
out
okay.
in the
So it's kind of an indication that they're a bit out of place.
could be.
Or they robbed somebody that was out of
Or
place.
they robbed somebody that was in the wrong place.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did you notice anything strange, like any strange behaviors during their stay, or?
Well, I'm no gossip. I do try to preserve the privacy of my guests, but these strangers were a bit unnerving, you understand. They were not my usual clientele. They were clean, but they had the look of highwaymen and women to them. They were covered in neck and face tattoos, and I believe one of the women had a penal legionnaire tattoo. I only got a glance at it, but it had that look.
What?
A penal legionnaire, like a prisoner soldier.
Oh, okay. She got a
They
tattoo
were-
of a penis on her?
They were polite, but any question I asked got a 1 or 2 word answer at the most. Very peculiar, with a lot of... Didn't want to give much information, not my usual clientele. Usually it's newlyweds and people on vacations, and they just want to jibber-jabber all night long about everything that's going on in their life.
Kind of like we're doing.
She smiles.
Hey, we all.
Nana's just staring at the pies as they bake.
This might sound weird. Did they ask you to look at any type of cups or objects or?
No, I don't recall anything like that, but one of them did have a tattoo of a cup. Like an old-timey goblet. Like a king of ancient times might hold.
Sounds like our people, guys. All right. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Harriet.
Did they say like where they were heading to?
Well, I don't know what
Or
their
coming
ultimate
from?
destinations were, of course, and they did not give that any information of that sort to me. But the group did split up 3 and 3, with one group heading south and the other heading north, out of town. Neither of them took the main roads. Neither took the main road, but there is an old road south that leads up into the mountains to Wheelbarrow Mine, and there's an even older road that heads north to Stone Forest and that old castle up there.
Stone Forest, we know, is where there used to be a ton of anchors. But Wheelbarrow Mine's also intriguing.
I know.
Well,
wanted to
I
check
figured
out
go
the
north.
castle.
Go north. We want to do the castle too, so go up north, and then come south to Wheelbarrow, and then we can use south to go to.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, because I forgot the other town down south that we wanted to do.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Harry. That's immensely helpful, actually.
Can you zoom in on the map a little bit for me?
Yeah. Where do you want to look?
More towards where we are right now. I just want to see what that is up in the Goblin Aqueduct. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
That pie smells delicious. Fantastic.
There's an apple pie. There's a sweet potato pie.
We got some frozen cow milk.
No, there's no frozen combos. So the pies take about 45 minutes to warm up and be edible, and she hands them off to you guys to split. Nana, you probably eat most of a pie.
Hawk tries to make small talk with her. As
Well,
much
it's still
as he can.
scalding hot for everybody else.
Barely notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasantly warm for you. She happily engages with small talk with Bach. Your room. She eventually shows you your rooms. There's nice, comfy beds with comfy cushioning. She has to have you carry 2 twin beds to push them together, but you all get situated for the night. The night passes peacefully. You get well rested, and you're up at dawn.
Right now, everybody makes sure they're not missing any limbs or organs.
You're tied to the bed and she's got a sledgehammer.
A block of wood between your ankles.
Everything's fine.
In the book, she cut it off
Oh yeah.
with an axe.
Harriet sends you guys off with a nice heaping pile of eggs and bacon for breakfast.
Wow.
You're just the best.
Yeah, Harriet. Yeah.
She
You're
does
good
charge
people.
you, but it's an inconsequential sum for the money you have, so I'm not going to make anyone make resources rolls. And just,
Okay.
Fistful hands. Boop, 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 boop.
So that is her. The telegraph office, it can function as a shop if you guys want to investigate that and buy anything before heading out.
Yeah, I'd like to go actually ask about Tuck, since he sent out some telegraphs.
Okay. You go over to the. I don't have a picture of him, but there is a. Let's see here.
Maybe like a generic NPC picture.
Yes, I should. You guys wander over to the telegraph office, and a bell chimes as you open the sturdy wooden door. The room's fairly small. There's not much in it. Basically, just a counter with a door leading to another room behind it. There's a table behind the counter with the telegraph apparatus and receiver on it, as well as a wooden chest with a metal plate on the front that says Shadowjack Acquisitions on it in Orcant and Aguaton. There's a gentleman standing behind the counter with a name tag that says Cobb. He's wearing a white long sleeve shirt, black slacks with suspenders on, sort of a bowl haircut, with some manner of like wax or product in it to give it a shine. He greets you happily as you enter. Hello, gentlemen. Are you sending or receiving today? We also have a contract with Shadowjack Acquisitions if you're interested in ordering some supplies. We also have scribing services on the menu as well as more conventional object ordering.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at your offerings from Shadowjack Acquisitions. We also had some questions about a man who was in here yesterday.
We do not divulge any personal information about our
And I kind of felt that
people
was
that use the
coming.
telegraph.
All right then. Just the Shadowjack Acquisitions then.
Okay.
That'll do.
If you guys, if you want to bring up the, all right. So
I'll send a telegraph to Granny and ask if
there's no telegraph in Redridge.
or whatever. Oh, there isn't.
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Well, this place sucks. No.
Shadowjack Acquisitions. We provide legally acquired goods at fair market value for the adventure on the go wherever you are. And there's some rules. We should have done handouts. My bad.
We will next time.
Do you guys want to scroll through the shop, or do you want to get handouts for next time, and we can?
We can do that.
Yeah, let's just.
That'll be easier, I think. Okay. So there's healing potions, bombs, some enchantments and stuff, but we can deal with that.
Okay.
I don't think you'll need any of that this session,
Foreshadowing.
unless you go way off the rails.
Ooh.
So
I mean,
It'll be the first time.
So, you do some shopping or not. Don't send messages.
Yeah, we'll retroactively do the shopping thing, I think.
Oh, I'll say that that guy that we were going to talk about is one of our friends. We just wanted to know where he was heading to. Did he say where he's heading?
You described tucked in. That gentleman did not say anything about where he was heading, and if he did, I would not divulge that information.
No, that's fine. He just saved her ass. We had to save the
What?
town.
You're a
like-
consummate professional. So.
So I'm assuming these telegraphs go to like the largest cities.
Yeah, like This one probably runs down to Osfell on the border of Agriaros, as well as connects to a line that runs up to Cusset City. Probably also has a line that runs to Krugatusk, since it's so popular and it's a more metropolitan area because of the Smudge Hill coal mine.
I don't know, guys. I'm thinking about sending like a telegraph, just like generic law offices of Gusseth, mentioning that we're running into reports of Chirazov in the blood list. Like, need help. Does that seem stupid or reasonable?
I mean, right now we haven't ran into them now, but who's to say they're already overran?
But I mean, I can see what you're saying though, and that it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's like, hey, just a heads up.
Yeah.
This is what's going on
But
over
if they don't know who that is, like we didn't know who that
Yeah,
was.
but if there's shadow operations like
Warden Kane did mention that he would have to send some telegraphs, so he might be already on that
okay.
aspect.
Okay, can you point out for me where we are in as far as the bigger picture here?
Ragridge. That's where.
Right here.
Oh, thank you. Gotcha. All right.
Alright. Cool. Yeah, I guess then we'll let Warden Kane take care of that.
You know what?
Guess we start heading north to the Stone Forest, right?
All right.
Yep.
You guys head north. The road is what road there is very old and crumbling. This is like, think of like a Roman road over in like Italy, and like it's been in place for several hundred years, and some of it's in good repair. Other parts of it are completely shattered and overgrown and that kind of thing. Looks like maybe someone laid down bricks of some kind ages and ages ago. There are only fragments left nowadays. Nothing even and continuous that would make it easier for a horse or wagon to traverse. It takes about an hour and a half to get to the outskirts of the Stone Forest. You've heard some people in Ragridge say Stone Forest is an old petrified forest, but you know that it is definitely not based on your conversations with Jeff. The ground starts to slope downward into a depression as you approach the outskirts of the Stone Forest. And you have kind of a vantage point on the ridge as it starts the slope down. I think you guys would immediately drop down on your hands and knees so you're not presenting an outline on the horizon. The first thing you can see is that the stone pillars don't look like petrified wood. Petrified wood typically looks like stone because it's petrified. These look like glassy stone pillars of varying shapes. Not obsidian or clearish glass, but like something in between. Like melted dirt and stuff, I think. There's also dark glassy spots on the ground. There are bare patches of earth as well. Sparky could tell Malfurion that the whole area, like Vatosh, elementally nuked this area and like melted the dirt and silica and everything into glass. Kind of. It's not real glass, but it's kind of glassy.
That's pretty hardcore, man.
The whole area.
Can Sparky do that?
No. He
He
can
said,
turn.
we'll get him leveled up. Don't worry.
He could turn a grain of sand into glass. I think that's in his power.
Hey, that's a start. That's pretty cool.
Well, they're 1,000 years old, so you just did one stone at a time.
Sparky would tell Malfurion that the whole area is like that under what debris that has built up over the centuries. Earth and like plants have been deposited kind of by like wind and birds and water runoff from higher elevations and stuff. Second thing, there is a large group of humanoids making a large camp in among the glassy stone spikes of the Stone Forest. You can see patrols and people moving through the camp. If you'd had to guess, you'd say that there are at least 100 people in this armed camp. These are not pioneers or like a geological science expedition. There aren't any banners or heraldry that you can see, but there is a flag flying above the camp from the top of one of the glassy stone spikes. The flag is a rectangle of gray fabric. It looks old and stained and tattered at the edges. In the center of the flag is a circle with spikes on the inward surface of the circle. So like a wagon wheel, but it's spiky. It is the toothy lamprey mouth symbol you saw on the interior of the chalice that you found in Crooked Tusk.
Oh boy.
Okay. So the flag's in the center and everybody's around the flag?
Yeah, there's like a camp set up like at the edges of the stone
No, I meant
forest.
like,
and like
the flag, the anchor.
maybe. I mean, it could be. It's not a cult, but
So probably not, but it's
You-
definitely the same symbol. So it's like
Yeah.
Cheers Off.
you would have to find out if it was an anchor. You would have to climb up several dozen feet of like stone glassy pillar to
Oh,
investigate.
so probably no. Because they wouldn't keep it that far away from them.
It probably wouldn't be influencing many people hanging out that high
Is
up.
Sparky sure he can't just nuke these guys again?
He's pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
How would he lose his?
Because that'd be a great time for it.
And he said we didn't need bombs.
Kill 100 guys, 3 at a time with a bomb.
Murder hobos.
That's only 33.3 bombs.
Yep.
Well, if he throws them hard enough, he can knock a couple of them out.
That's true. He could kill a man with one of them as just from hitting the force of hitting it.
Me like bowling.
Guys, this seems like a bad place to be.
Yes, sir.
You could that you could skirt around this. It would be hard going, but you could go up into the mountains. If you're thinking about investigating the Ruined Castle, that's doable. But it would be several days of trekking through hard mountain terrain.
I mean, we were talking about doing it,
Yeah.
but we also, as far as I know, don't have any real reason to go to the ruined castle yet.
I don't think anything is indicated that to you,
No.
other than their presence here in Stone Forest.
So I wonder if we need to tell the Warren about this.
Oh, we definitely do.
I feel like
You-
somebody mentioned the ruined castle at some point.
I think it was Jeff. Said something about all the old ruined castle.
Jeff did say that it was there, I think.
I think he just mentioned that it was there.
I feel like somebody else mentioned that it was there.
It's been mentioned before. I
We
think
said the
Granny,
stone forest by the ruined castle.
I think Granny Dusk mentioned that there was an old lord that lived there hundreds of years ago or
yes,
And
something.
that's why I thought about wanted to check it out.
I'm not against it, but
But you're not for it.
Yeah, if it's gonna take days to get there.
Having fun?
Yeah. What you guys want to do?
I definitely don't want to go into camp because hey, check out my cup.
yes, we know we don't want to go there.
Can we? I don't suppose we can ride around and avoid them any without being seen.
You'd have to go up into the mountains, I think, to avoid them
Gotcha.
successfully. You could try and stealth close to see if you can hear them or see what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess Bach says, alright guys, I'll go hide in the shadows and
It's like
Daylight.
8 a.m. right now.
Okay, well, you know.
I mean, the pillars themselves are casting shadows.
Yeah, that should be good enough. Especially if the sun's low, there should be long shadows for me to hide
Yeah.
in.
Okay.
I mean, you guys want me to go try to see if
Sure.
I can hear something? Or I'm not gonna get too crazy close, but
Let's
I'm not gonna like go into the middle of the.
And this is how I lost Bach.
let's make intuition plus shadow magic plus shadows to see what kind of result we have for getting close.
Wow, that's not great. 3 hits.
I got 2 hits on perception. So you're sufficiently close that you can try and eavesdrop on someone, on a group of like soldiers.
Yeah, that's.
This particular group of soldiers looks just like it's the same kind of vibe as the Bloodless you fought in the canyon. They look like bandits. They are kind of standing around, staring blankly, that kind of thing. Do you want to observe them for a while?
Do you
Yeah,
see him staring
I
at
guess.
one thing?
Uh,
Do you see him
do you just like? Do you sit there for 10 minutes? Do you sit there for an hour? You're like cloaked in shadow right now.
I'll say 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Okay.
If nothing happens in that time, we'll say
They kind of stand there blankly with their gear. Someone comes by. This person is not blank and just like staring off into space. Maybe it's a lead. Like there's no medals or like insignia of rank on anyone here in this group. These all look like bandits, or informal military. Maybe this is a commander, maybe it's like a squad commander, maybe it's some rando. But he says, all right, Hamish is getting ready to start moving towards the castle. So get your gear and let's go.
Shit, do we know that name?
Hamish was in the paperwork.
Okay. Hamish is ready to start moving to the castle. Okay, so something's definitely at the castle. All right, I boogie back to the
Okay.
guys and let
All
them know that. I feel like that's information well learned.
Okay.
I get back and I tell them, all right, sorry I was gone so long, but I was just waiting for something to happen. Again, more of that blank stare bullshit. But then someone came around and said that Hamish is is ready to move toward the castle. I don't know if we wait for them to leave, if we go back and tell the warden that there's a huge group of these people here heading toward the castle.
Or just we try to head them off, get there before them. I don't know.
If
man.
we have to go around, there's no way we beat them,
Yeah.
right?
If you go up in the mountains, there's no
Okay.
assuming they have a means of ascending the cliff face that the castle is on the edge of, there's no way for you to beat them there. If there's some method for them to get up the cliff face.
I mean, like,
Can we see anything on the cliff face?
This is probably that's about 10 miles away.
Okay. Can Sparky sense an anchor?
Make a presence plus druidic magic check for me.
You're sucking today.
Yeah.
as soon
you can have one to that, and that's one hit.
One hit? Okay. No, Sparky does not detect anything. If you're thinking like in terms of tracking the trail of this weird magic, there's definitely weird magic scattered around this force of bandits, but you don't recognize anything as an anchor around them.
Yeah, we definitely need
No,
some
no.
backup.
I was like, I can't see anything from here.
Just standing up, a huge silhouette on the ridge line.
I mean, I think that's the only two options we have. Is we wait for them to leave this camp if they are leaving, and we can go investigate there, or we go back. I think those are only. I can create shadow teleports, and we can teleport from shadow to shadow, but that seems
Risky.
Yeah, we're all gonna have to. It's easy for me, but for all of us to do it.
Chill us out.
I think Bach. I think you all will remember that Granny's focus, more than killing these guys, she wants them dead, but she also wants to make sure the other towns are okay. That was her
Moving
focus.
away from Crowbury. Ruined Castle wouldn't be a town. She's
Right.
concerned about,
There's no
right?
one that's known to live there. There's no like community. I mean, there could be like some crazy old homeless man like, dwelling there. There could be another version of a Jeff in that castle, but there's no community there.
You know, like in a video game, like Zelda, when you try to go someplace that you're not ready for, and they're like, "Oh wait, you hear so and so's voice. It's not Professor Oak. You shouldn't be using that bike inside a building." Bach hears Granny Dusk say, "I'm just worried about the towns."
Yeah, and the Stone Forest, not a settlement. It's just a forest.
Yeah, it's just a bunch. It's a
But
weird geological.
didn't we just see a bunch of people that we think is part of that cult heading towards the castle? So to protect the other towns, wouldn't we stop them from
Well,
moving
we
into
don't,
the
we don't.
towns?
But there's nothing to protect over here. Like,
Right.
Crowberry's right there.
Yeah, but they're going the other way.
Yeah.
They're going the opposite way.
Yeah, but we can let the sheriff know. And
Yeah, I say we definitely do that. We definitely go back, Crowberry, let the warden know.
and then head toward. Do we have a second?
Yeah, the wheelbarrow
Lakewood.
mine.
Oh, okay.
which is way
That-
down.
well, she said
The-
it was going
The
south.
other group headed south
The other
on
three
an old
head
road
south.
leading to Wheelbarrow Mine.
So yeah, we'll check that out, and then so
And-
Lakewood's probably well after our
That's day's trip.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Easily.
yeah, swing back
Probably
through
double, yeah.
Crowberry and then head to the Wheelbarrow Mine.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody agree?
Yep.
Stop these guys from
Don't
doing
worry,
any
Nano.
damage.
We'll get them.
All right. You go into Crowberry. You tell the warden what you found.
Absolutely.
He says, "What in tarnation? Holy..." Some generic curse word. I'm going to get on the telegraph right now. And he rushes out of the warden office next door to the telegraph.
We're gonna go check on Wheelbarrow Mine. Harriet said 3 of them went south as well, so we're
Okay.
gonna go south and check that out as well.
Definitely go. Thank
we
you,
should
boys.
go with them. We need all the XP we can get.
So you head south and west along an older, somewhat overgrown road. This is probably a well-used, like, cobblestone road to get to and from the mine. It's a little overgrown at this point because it hasn't been heavily used in 50 years. There's an old signpost bleached by the sun. It's kind of hanging like on chains. One chain's busted, the other's rusty and stiff. It has a piece of wood on it that at one point said Wheelbarrow Mine, but the paint is faded and now it just says barrel in like chipped and peeled red paint. You follow the wide road for a couple hours. It's now about noon. You can see a couple like derelict wagons like along the side of the road. There's like a mine cart on the side of the road. These are all like long time since they've been used. Everything's worn and overgrown. Go ahead and make a perception observation check for me. Or investigation. Plus your intuition.
Make sure I'm doing this like 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4 hits.
That hits. With which? That doesn't matter.
Observation.
Sorry. 2, 3.
Then investigation.
Oh, actually, 11.
No, you got 3.
You're looking for 4s or higher.
Oh,
And you got a crit. So you can either put a dice
I
in the
would put a
tower
die in the
or
tower.
roll.
Yeah, throw that dice in the tower.
Okay.
I
You
got
3
3.
hits?
Yep.
3 hits?
Yeah,
3
3
hits?
hits.
Okay.
3 hits.
You guys have enough hits between you. You find footprints that are fairly recent. You're all investigating the ground, like looking at print depth and stuff. There are some prints that are recent.
Oh no, I was just saying.
They're somewhat
I do
worn,
have another one, I'll probably go
but
get
not
one.
like the old rag and ruts
I'm
and
hungry.
like hoof prints you've seen. They're fresher footprints.
So like days old, or is it like the?
Weeks. I
Like
think you have enough tracking experience and like that kind of thing. That
So
you,
you think it's the set of 3?
yeah.
Okay.
You think these are the tracks of the people that left
So we
Kroger.
didn't know if that was that Tuck. Did you say Tuck left like a day or 2 before? us?
Oh, that's true. Tuck did. I mean, it's the 3 people
Okay.
that were staying with Harriet. 3 of the 6 people. It's around noon now. For a while, the path slopes upwards into the mountains and starts to even out. Granny Dust told you that Wheelbarrow closed about 50 years ago, but nobody ever said why. Just one day the owners closed it up. It was assumed that the silver ran out, but there are people like old Ethan from Ragridge who, there's still silver in them hills. Something went down there, like conspiracy theory shit, like something happened and all that kind of thing.
They dug too greedily, too deep.
As the path starts to kind of even out from the slope, you start to get a good line of sight on the mining camp. And it's clear that the mining camp itself outside the mine, was completely destroyed. There's no equipment, no buildings, just old ash and old burned broken timbers. None of this is fresh. There's scorched and broken stone, rusted metal, melted metal. Something blasted this camp into destruction a long time ago, not recently. In several craters where like earth and stone were blasted away. Does anyone know what fulgurites are?
Yeah.
It's when lightning hits sand or dirt and it fuses the silica, similar to like the stone pillars.
It's lightning made sand, or
It's
lightning
lightning.
made glass.
Yeah, it's lightning. The lightning hits the dirt and like it fuses into glass as it travels through it.
Yep.
You see fulgurites in some of these craters, like lightning blasted them and fused some of the
I
dirt.
wonder if it was Jeff.
Could've been. It's possible.
Could have been God Emperor.
Uh,
Cherry Cola or whatever his name was.
At the outskirts of this devastated mining camp, you see several signs. They all say the same thing in multiple languages, some that none of you are familiar with or can read. No trespassing. Trespassers will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Mason, Matlock, and Shore, Esquires.
Is that the
You heard about Mason, Matlock, and Shore in Crookatusk. I think it was Shore that had a beef with Upper and would take cases against him pro bono.
Okay.
You've also heard Benjamin Mason, Esquire.
Oh, so we might
That's
have
what
an
I was
in.
thinking.
We might have an in. We took care of it.
Looking at the site, there's not much you can tell about what happened here, other than like the fulgurites indicating, and like these aren't like normally fulgurites are like little like finger-sized pieces of glass. These are pillars, like
Oh,
huge
okay.
pillars of like in the blasted craters. You can see the path that once entered the mine itself, like the standard like mine entrance, like you see in films. That whole area is surrounded by crumbled stone, like something blasted the tunnel, leading into the top of the mine, wider than it originally was. I'm not gonna make you make any checks, but you can clearly see 3 bodies and a lot of recently disturbed earth around the entrance of the mine. The mine has been closed for 50 years, so a lot of the torn up earth and remains of structures has plant life growing out of it, even if it's just scraggly bushes or weeds. The area in front of the mine is much more recent. Like Bach, your nose would tell you that those bodies are fresh and rotting. There are 3 corpses that have just been smashed into the ground.
Can I tell how fresh?
It's the 3.
It's the 3. It's the 3 that
Okay.
headed south out of Crowbury.
Guys, I think that's them.
The question now is: do you want to go past the trespassing signs, or do you want to turn around?
I probably would stop because we don't know what smushed them.
Yeah, this is all you can learn without going past the trespassing signs.
Either way, they're taken care of.
We know where they went. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, if our goal remains to be to check on the other towns, it's not so much about like murder and violence and mayhem.
This is true.
And like, there's no direct threat here at the moment,
Right.
Right.
so I don't see any reason to investigate. I mean, that's not what we're here for.
Correct.
Is cloth armor smush proof?
No.
Okay, then yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, but what killed them? Is that more of a threat to the towns
But
than
is
they
that-
were?
But that's the thing is that only did that because it's no trespassing?
It's never been an issue, to our knowledge, until they passed the no trespassing sign.
Right, and they're not gonna get any less dead, or any more dead, like if we leave. Like,
We don't get a necromancer, do we?
I'm probably the closest thing to that, but not really.
Then you hear one of the Windens say, "Help me."
Can
and
I?
it's not so far that the warden from Crowbury couldn't bring a squad through and check it out.
Well, that he may know too.
That's true too. But I mean,
Thank you, Mike.
he probably doesn't know about the 3 fresh bodies.
Probably not. Yeah.
Right, but the thing is he may know what's protecting the mine because he would have to know people wandered in there and didn't make it.
Yeah. For all we know, it's something
I
they
mean, this
placed there.
just
to protect it.
happened though too, so
Yeah.
Like,
we're probably the first ones to find the bodies.
Right, but what I'm saying is if it may be that's how they're protecting the with no trespassing?
Maybe, but murder seems to be pretty extreme for a civilized society that isn't, evil.
I have to go to the bathroom, so let's take a break.
Okay.
You guys can keep discussing what you want to do.
Billy, anyway.
Does Bach have any ability to? So like, obviously it's possible through shadow magic to like transport goods and services,
Yeah.
like Shadowjack. Can I transport a message in any particular way, or not necessarily?
Not really.
Okay, that's reasonable. Can I learn how to do that?
I think that would like
Level up.
I
I'm
think
not saying right now.
I think teleportation type stuff would be more high magic.
Okay.
Like,
all right. That's
like you
reasonable.
jumping from point A to point B, like in a localized area,
Then I
is
can
one
see.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, but like sending something over long distances, I think is completely
Okay.
different.
All right. So given that, we
I
probably
was thinking
wanna-
more like a whisper or something.
Or 3 letters.
A couple
Would-
words to like the warden.
That
didn't have
bot
to-
cannot do.
Okay.
His magic. That would get more into like mental magic, and I know that's not where box talents lie.
Oh, that's what I was curious about.
Could I leave? Well, I guess any one of us. Could we just write something in the dirt in case anybody comes this way,
That's
or we
true.
can just go back to Crowberry? I mean, like it's what was it like an hour and a half trip? You said.
From Wheelbarrow to Crowberry is like 4 or 5 hours.
Well, like, what time of the day is it?
It is about noon. Now,
So I'm
now
just
it's about
wondering,
noon.
it's something like to go back to town anyway.
Yeah, we gotta go.
United
Go back to
States.
town, stay the night, get another one of those pies.
Guys are good.
Now you're talking Nana style.
And
I'm
then,
fine with that. I think that's reasonable.
and then if they need help doing the 100 people, then we're there too.
Yep.
But I think that trespassing is part of.
Nana can't read.
Yeah, right.
That's not. That wouldn't get you out of the punishment, though.
That's true.
Sorry, I can't read. Oh, well then.
Yeah, go on in.
So they make up a pitcher's thing. You cross, you smash.
Might be able to figure that one out.
So I think we're heading back. Then?
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
We're heading back to town
Okay. Go back to Crowberry.
because it'll be at 4 o'clock, and
Warden first.
well, he's probably dealing with the maybe.
We look for the warden, I guess.
Okay. You find him in the telegraph office, sending telegraphs and
Okay.
receiving telegraphs.
Yeah. We found the 3 that went south, all dead outside the mine beyond the trespassing sign.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is.
I don't know what they would be doing there.
So
look
they were
smashed, right?
they were like super dead, like smashed, like into the ground.
Have been dead for a number of days.
Right. That's so they went beyond. There's trespassing signs I know up there, with lawyers' names all over it,
Yep.
and they went beyond the trespassing signs.
Or their bodies did.
Or their bodies did. I don't rightly know.
And when there's new construction too, wasn't there like a?
No, there's no new.
I thought you said there was like a
the
newer.
area around them was disturbed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why they would be up there or what killed them. You don't mess with Mason. What is it? You don't mess with Mason, Matlock, and Shore. They are a very serious legal firm in the area, and I don't know that they're involved with. I don't know if they magically protected the place or what, but
I think we made the right call, guys.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, this session would have was with us being in jail.
We're smushed.
Or fighting our way out of the shadow realm.
Austin comes in, he's like, "Where's all my friends at?"
Actually, Austin, I'm just gonna need you to show up the next session. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna stock back up with supplies. Maybe stay one more night, and then we're gonna head down to. We're going to Lakewood. Is that what we're doing?
Liquid.
So the thing is too, is do we go back to Ragridge in that direction? I'm assuming that's the main trail, right?
Or would it be faster to go overland?
Straight down.
Please scroll the map a little bit.
Down.
Yeah, it's pretty much directly south from Crowberry.
Yeah. Would it be faster going through the woods or over the road?
I mean,
Is it below this forest here?
Yeah.
Even? Yeah.
Yeah.
It
right
might be
here.
faster to just take the road then.
Yeah. Or cut over diagonal to the road. And
Yeah,
straight
it's all like
forest.
scrubland too, but
It's about
Yeah.
the same distance, really.
it's about 80 miles, 85. It's 90 miles along the road. It's 87 cross country.
Might as well just take the
might as well
road.
take the road. I guarantee. it's
Well, we're
faster.
not going into Rag
Yeah.
Ridge. I mean, it's you know,
Yeah, we're still
Yeah.
probably an hour shy of Rag Ridge, so that makes sense.
and then we can meet people along the way.
You know, I wanted to check out Popper's Pit too.
It's on the way.
It's a big
Yeah.
hole in the ground.
I know. That's at the bottom of it.
Is it
That
full-
goes-
Guys, Nana really wants to look at Popper's Pit. We can.
It's where they
stop.
used to bury like the unclaimed dead.
Yeah.
I'm a moron. You're a moron. You're a moron.
All right, you're heading south to the road, past Ragridge. You look at the Popper's Pit. It's a big old pit. You could fit down it.
How big is it?
It's no one knows how deep it is. The hole is big enough for you to fall down. It's sort of like almost a crater, kind of, and just in the center of it is a pit, like a hole into darkness.
So it's like a big crater and then a
Yeah, the side-
10-footish
Sinkhole.
hole.
it slopes towards a hole.
And then it's like a sinkhole
Okay.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's where we put a lot of cups.
Cups.
Or is it the
couches.
top of a giant cup?
Right?
Teeth spring
Yeah,
out.
good luck worshiping the cup from way down there.
Who knows? Maybe that's where Cheersov is, the bottom of the hole.
And we keep feeding it back.
There's a little hand popping out waving.
Right? Alright. We can head for the Lakewood.
All right, Lakewood. Takes many hours. It is now the 3rd of 7th month. It's about 5 in the evening, I would say, based if you spent the night. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll call it 5 in the evening. You roll into Lakewood, and you can tell that something isn't right, even from a ways off. There's smoke rising from the center of town.
Nice.
A big, thick cloud. As you approach closer, you can smell the smells of burning hair and meat. You probably smell these way off, Bach. You get into the actual town borders, and the town is nice. It's I think you'd call it cozy. Lakewood isn't big, but it's very crafty. There's a lot of there's lumber from Tresnay. Tresnay wood has led to Lakewood being a very woodworking and forestry focused town. Most of the buildings are nice wooden homes with lots of stylish artistic touches. Like the doors have faces on them. The fence posts have little dancing figures like carved into them and stuff like that. It's very artsy.
So it's a small world, but
It's a world of laughter and a world of tears.
There's flower pots and ivy and growing things everywhere. There's clear signs of like people running shops like from their porches and stuff. Like you can see tables where like a craft fair would be set up almost. Something is wrong in Lakewood though. There's smoke hanging over the town and it's coming from a large burn pile in the center. You take in the artsy, craftsy, woodworky sites, but you also start to see signs of violence. Windows have been boarded up. A bloody mass of fur and meat sits in the middle of the road. A shredded and torn piece of cloth is caught on the corner of a garden box. There's a bloody handprint on a fence. All that kind of stuff. The town is quiet. You don't hear any screams or sounds of violence or battle or anything like that. You also don't see anyone. But you see that there's recent signs that something has been going on. Like there's bloody drag marks across the road. There's tufts of bloody fur and feathers on the road, caught on things. As you get closer to the burn pile in the center of town, the stink of burned meat, open bellies, and burning hair starts to slither into your nostrils and tickle your gag reflex. The center of town is kind of a large circular area with like businesses on the perimeter and streets like going off like spokes in a wheel. You see the post office is boarded up. The warden's office has a boarded up window. There's a couple stores that have been given the same like reinforced treatment like you see in zombie apocalypses. There's an open air cafe place that has been demolished with like tables and awnings scattered across the ground, spattered with blood, torn. There's no stable, but there are a bunch of bicycles collected together in a rack that sits on the ground. Some are bent and misshapen, like something heavy fell on them or ran over them. The burn pile hasn't been burning long. You can see charred remains on the edges of the pile, like someone lit it, a couple spots in the base. You also smell some sort of accelerant. I think you could identify like maybe it's kerosene or something.
Okay.
Maybe wood varnish even.
Jeff's moonshine.
Just moonshine, yeah.
No, this isn't nearly that alcoholic.
The edges of the pile are burned, but you can also see like there are unburned bodies like at the top of it, like it's piled in kind of a corpse pyramid.
Like recent then.
Yeah. You see a couple relatively intact corpses that you might identify as bloodless. Face tattoos, neck tattoos, circles, lamprey mouths, cups, chalices, all that kind of tattoo stuff. Between the burned humanoid bodies and the intact corpses, there's maybe a dozen and a half humans in the pile. Everything else is animal. You see big cats, what might be big coyotes or wolves, some snakes, a couple of feathered bird corpses, something big enough to maybe have been a bear. If anyone would like to investigate the corpses to see if you can pick out any more details, roll intuition, perception, observation.
It's almost like Deadpool was here.
Two for me also. 3 for me.
3.
1.
Oh, wait,
So it's
is it
actually-
5s and 6s only?
4, 5, 6.
2. No, I got
Oh,
the
that's right.
mental thing.
So like 7 for this?
Let me see.
So my intuition is 2, and then I've got 2 for observation.
Yes.
No.
You're
2,
And 2 for perception.
You have 6.
You don't use the 6th sense.
You're
Okay.
just rolling 6.
Okay.
2.
You could add 1 to the pile or roll again. Otherwise, you got 2 1s and 2 successes.
Which is a crit fail.
No.
No, he's got.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
got
more
5
than
dice.
six.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
More than 50%.
I'll add another one to the thing. Why not?
So 2 successes.
I should have re-rolled. I had 2 crits.
From the intact corpses, you can see a lot of
Thank
bite
you.
and claw marks on the bloodless corpses. The intact portions of the animal corpses have what look like weapon wounds, like knives, swords, arrows. A couple have arrows stuck in them. The big thing that was probably a bear has a chunk taken out of it, like it was hit with buckshot from a shotgun. So the humans have bite marks and claw marks. The animals have weapon wounds.
Okay.
So it was like animals versus humans.
Yeah, that's the way it looks. If not, I could think that clearly.
But who's putting him in the pile? That's the.
I'm sure Nana knows what an animal bite mark looks like. He's probably been bitten more than once.
Yeah.
He just thinks all animals need a hug.
I call him Jeff.
Exactly. I will pet him and love him and feed him.
Do you like take a poker and like poke the product bodies? Do you move on in your investigations? What do you?
Tuck.
Yeah, let's poke around. Let's see.
Yeah.
You want to like start poking at the bodies?
Sure,
with
just a little bit.
a
Kind of
stick.
cursory.
Okay. You find a stick and start poking at the bodies. You immediately notice something odd. Some of the bodies are sort of combined versions of animals. Like you poke at the mostly burned bear creature, and find that it's got scorched feathers on some parts of its body.
Chimeric.
There's like a mostly intact falcon or hawk body in there, but it's got a snake head growing from it.
I may have missed this. Are their wounds bloody?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The wound.
Okay.
The
Humans.
so there are the humanoid corpses that are the bloodless. I think there would probably be some. I didn't think of it when I was writing this, but I think there would be like gray grit on them that would also identify them in addition to the tattoos and stuff.
Okay.
The bloodless corpses have claw and bite marks on them.
Okay.
The animal corpses have sword and like axe and like arrow wounds on them.
But actual blood.
But actual blood, yes.
Bach kind of like starts taking all this in. Sorry, did I interrupt what you were?
No.
Okay. Taking all this in and kind of like ask Smelfarion, like, do these animals, are these in any way like associated with elementals, like these hybrids, or?
Sparky would tell you that those animals are completely unnatural. Like they do not belong in the world.
So there's somebody creating.
So not a druid.
Not a druid.
All right. That's
Or a really messed up one.
You see a woman come around the burn pile.
Oh.
Oh, you need to download another image.
You son of a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Is there any like authority figure looking people around? Like could be
No,
authority figures like a warden or anything?
Up until this point, this woman that is about to appear, you have seen no one.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, do I not have her?
Roll.
Oh, Marianne Opal. You'll need to download and bring up Marianne Opal. This woman comes around from the other side of the burn pile. She says, welcome to Lakewood, strangers. We'd normally greet you with a meat and cheese plate and smiles all around, but as you can see, we've had some troubles yesterday and we're not feeling too warm and welcoming.
I don't blame you.
She looks like a regular townie for the most part, but the axe she's holding is clearly like a wood axe, and the breastplate she's wearing is tarnished and old, like it's some antique from like a family member or a shop. What's your business here, strangers?
Weird.
I pointed to the gray body up on top, like we're tracking down the bloodless.
Oh yeah, we've met the Bloodless. An ugly son of a bitch named Amtus was here a couple weeks back, and we ran him out of town. And it seems like his friends came back yesterday for a visit.
Is that the dude we killed?
Yeah, Amtus was the warlock guy, the sorcerer guy that died.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I let her know that. Well, thanks for putting a hurting on Amtooth. We finished him off for you guys. We ran into him as well.
Oh, that's delightful.
Sorry about your town. What happened?
Well, it's the damnedest thing. My wife died a couple weeks ago, and you realize she hasn't introduced herself, but you remember that Bubba told you have a money order for a lady whose wife died. It's the damnedest thing. My wife died a couple weeks ago in the woods whilst I'm in the middle of the grieving process, aided by excessive amounts of hard cider and masturbation, everything around here has gone to absolute shit.
Yeah,
The main thing
sure looks like that.
The main thing is the battle that happened here recently, 2 days ago. But since before my wife died, there have been an uncommon number of animal attacks in Tresnay Wood. Hunters have been going missing and chased out of there by bizarre wild animals, flying snakes, feathered bears, all manner of unnatural fuckery. We had to close down the lumber camp in the wood. More recently, these cult motherfuckers appeared in the center of town and started killing anyone within sight. Damnedest thing. A dust storm came out of nowhere from the north, blew right into town, and then these motherfuckers appeared screaming about filling the cup and Chiravazi or Chirinov or some such and started killing. We had a warden right here in town, and he and his deputies did what they could, but we were outnumbered. I mean, we've got plenty of bows and rifles, but, you know, we had to go grab them, and it all went to shit. And then all these weird fucking animals showed up, and the animals and the bloodless started killing each other, and we all just boarded up our houses and hid for a while until they took each other apart. And it was madness like I've never seen, and now we have a delightful burn pile.
I wonder if that Jeff was saying that there's other gods or whatever entities that might go against Chirzov. So I wonder if that's
I said like Chirzov.
Yeah,
like Chirzov, but maybe they went after it.
Otherworldly beings.
He said there's a lot of people that go after it. Maybe somebody curated those.
Somebody definitely did. I would think if they're natural. I mean, they came from somewhere. Yeah, still processing all this. Marianne, you said?
Yeah, Marianne Opal.
Yeah. So sorry, we're still processing all this. Not that it's any condolence, but we have a money order for I thank you.
Oh, from what?
Don't
From Yeah, from Bubba. She's
Yeah,
just,
from Bubba.
okay. She smiles and laughs. Bubba's a sweetheart. He's a good egg. Funny story. Marlene and I met at the Kitten's Lick. Good times. Funnier story. Banker came calling, and wouldn't you know it, a couple of critters ate him. I'm no anatomist, but it looked like the claws and not an axe tore his head off. Damnedest thing. So I went and forged all the paperwork and whatnot. So the mortgage is good.
Awesome.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
She says, you know, you can keep the funds Bubba arranged for me if you're interested in doing some work.
We may partake.
What kind of work?
She takes a pull from a water skin hanging at her waist and says, we got the lumber camp we had to shut down in Tresnay Wood. We got to be daily attacks on it. Big bear things, cat things, snake things, all coming out of the woods. Weirdly working together like they were organized. And it's been left empty these last couple weeks because we couldn't staff it, let alone get work done and defend it. There's a mess of supplies still out there that would come in handy for us here in town. If you could go out there and clear it out, if anything's made home there, I'll send a wagon and a team along behind you to take some supplies and bring them back here. And then maybe while you're out there, you could track down where these animals are coming from. We think it's the lake.
I gotta go get the kids. I'll go with whatever you guys decide.
Boar is gonna go attack everything.
Okay.
And, I would probably say yeah, because I think part of our job was to make sure all these other towns were safe.
Yeah, that was what Granny Desk wanted you guys to do.
So I think doing that would be part of keeping the town safe.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
All right. We think they're coming from around the lake, but our hunters have found tracks all over Tresnay Wood, so they definitely roam about. Just if you do investigate around the lake, be careful. There's a dragon. We leave her alone and she don't bother us none, but we have a long history of bringing her raw meat when it's egg laying season for her, so she knows us some. Probably best to just avoid her if you see her or catch wind of her.
That's at the lake.
Yes, she lives in the lake or on the lake or something of that nature. Does anyone know how to pause the recording program?
I don't even know where his mouse is. I just see it on here.
It's over the.
I don't see it on the screen itself on this.
Down on the
outlet.
taskbar. What is the?
I swear I just seen it somewhere.
Do an Alt Tab. Just see what it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. I think.
He can always rewind it or cut it out.
I don't know if he does much editing. Does he
I
do
don't-
editing?
I don't think he
He's
does
has in the
editing.
past. Dead air.
Dead air. Dead air.
Out of the recording.
We'll be back next time.